Yeah, it's a little
Fancy,
action.
right?
Cool.
Fancy stuff around here.
Well, I really appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We talk to a lot of skill builders, Alexa skill builders, building voice experiences.
Okay.
And you've been talking a lot about voice and different ways of using voice.
Yes.
Here's something that I've seen in a lot of different industries actually, but particularly in voice right now. It's a very inventive time, and you're getting a lot of the indies coming out of the woodwork to like, what can we do and what's super creative? And I think that happens in music and movies, and like all the indies sort of push us into the new world. One of the things I've seen a lot of these folks do is get something built, and they love it. It's their baby. They've made this thing. It's really cool, and it actually is quality stuff. But then they see other people getting more success, and things are taking off, and things are happening. Like, well, what's happening? And so they're very focused on
The art.
the art. Yeah. And so I'd love to get your take on like, how do you take something more than just the art of it into bringing something to fruition?
My career, for the people that are watching that don't know, is, I'm a marketer and I'm an operator and I'm a business builder. And, as you were talking, it makes me think a lot about when I talk to SoundCloud or Spotify artists, or when I talk to entrepreneurs that built apps on the iPhone when it first came out.
Very much.
There's this ego of creators that looks like the following. I've made this awesome song, app, voice skill. Mm-hmm. He made a worse one, but he has more downloads, more listens.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is one of two things. Either the market doesn't agree with you and your skill's not that great,
True.
right?
Yep.
Or it might be great in its art form. Like, you may be like, wow, they really pushed the envelope on the UI, UX as we're trying to all establish what is that in voice. They found something that's amazing, but it's great in execution, but it still doesn't have a product fit to the demand of the end consumer. Mm-hmm. Or number two, they rely and get mad at Amazon or Alexa and say, hey, you should feature me on the store or on .com, without taking the responsibility of creating discovery on their own. I always believe that the best movie, the best song, the best book ever created potentially isn't known because it wasn't calmed properly. And so, I think there's an artistic ideology around quality that often doesn't transcend to reality, and I think that backbone is on discovery and on creative and marketing around awareness to the product, and I spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, sure. And it's uncomfortable for people too that are used to doing the art in the building. Right? You've got to get out of your comfort zone and what you were like.
Well, it's
like, I hear him say, I just want to build. I just want to make.
You know what's funny? Or you deploy self-awareness and realize the reason you should give up 10% of your company or pay somebody to do it is because you suck at marketing. Like, this notion that artists get mad that they're not making money is ludicrous. It's like a business person who makes money being mad that the world isn't looking at her or his work as great and artistic.
Right.
Like, self-awareness is the ultimate drug to unlock all the things you actually want. The problem is people don't like to face their shortcomings, and I think that's something I tend to talk about a lot from mindset and perspective of, and I don't think of them as fluffy things. I hate things like mindset and motivation and perspective because I think they sound fluffy. To me, they're just practical. Like, in real life, artist, your skill is amazing, but nobody knows about it, and you named it in a way that is not discoverable in search, and like, screw you, like, you deserve to lose. Nobody can find it. I don't care how great it is.
Yeah.
If you build the most beautiful house in the mountains up here, and you guys got mountains around here, like the woods up there, like, and you want everybody on earth to see it, and you don't market it, and you built it in the forest, like, you made a mistake.
So let's say you start to get a glimpse. You listen to this, you go, oh man, that's me, right?
Yes.
It can be overwhelming. You're like, okay, I guess I'm going to go start up Facebook pages and Instagram things and do all this stuff.
Or you don't, and again, you give up 10% of your company and you bring in Marketing Sally, or you hire the best firm out there that does marketing for Alexa skills, which I'm sure is being defined as we speak. Or you stay, or my biggest recommendation, continue to craft, meaning, I really genuinely believe that the iPhone is an incredible parallel to the skills that are going to be built on Alexa.
Okay.
I'm here today.
Yeah.
Macro. I don't do many things these days on my dime, on spec. I'm here because I genuinely believe in this space, and I believe that the apps, the skills, the briefings, the things built on top of Alexa are the next versions of what we saw built on the iPhone. The Spotifys, the Wazes, the Snapchats, the Instagrams. I genuinely believe that. If you look back at the early days of iPhone apps, a lot of the people that went on to build great products actually had 1 to 2 to 3 apps under their belt before they got there.
Sure.
There was very few from 0 to...
Yeah. And it took experimenting and all sorts of things, right? Yeah.
You know, one of the things the best artists who are watching the community right now should consider is, should you continue to build and hone your craft? Is it early? Is it the kind of thing, you know, I'm sure there's an enormous race for the I always talk about like the Pokemon Go of skills, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to make the skill that's going to burn up this entire country's ambition and excitement around it. You know, every dinner party in March of next year is going to be like, hey, did you download this game that is a voice-activated 18-hour...
Kind of the Angry Birds of the iPhone.
Correct.
Right? It's
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Candy Crush, you know, all those things.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to really challenge people to be historians of how these things happen and not fall in love with the first boy you kiss. Just because you made this great app, maybe you can make a better one because you actually learned quite a bit in making that skill. So it's about being thoughtful and patient because you're playing in kind of new territory, and not being so romantic about being the breakout hit, but building your craft, because the next decade of great skill makers is going to be unbelievable fertile grounds.
It's exciting times. Like it's
I mean, look, I mean this, and you know, you don't know me well enough, but I think my audience that watches me knows this. This is what I live for. Only once every 3, 7, 9, 12 years in the last 20, 30 years of the internet does a platform come along that I mean, I don't know if you see this. Like, I'm literally getting goosebumps. No, but really.
Those are literal goosebumps right there.
So, like, that's the funny part of my body. That's how I always know when I'm onto something. I get goosebumps. This is that big. This is fundamentally going to change everything.
I can't even imagine what the future is going to look like in 3, 4, 5 years.
It's going to be faster.
Totally faster.
So there's a couple of questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
About that.
I want to. Let's go.
Kind of the main subject is what's the future of this? How do you take it beyond just a content sharing platform? What's your vision for that? And I wanted to acknowledge that there's a small kerfuffle. The names on screen are flipped.
That's
nice.
fine.
Good times.
I'm sure.
I mean, I've always wanted to be Paul.
And I've always wanted to be Gary Vee. We're good.
Actually, I really want to be Gary Vee.
Okay.
So, Paul, you know, I think. What's the future of this? Here's what I would say. I was an early pusher of like apps and texting is going to win. Emojis are going to win. I remember emojis. I wish I was doing my vlog back then. When that kind of first hit the scene, I'm like, of course it's going to win because one press of a button of a smiley face is faster than colon and, you know, like it's just speed. So what's the future of this? There are things that you're doing now that will blow you away that you'll be doing only in voice. Like, I genuinely think I'm going to poke my head out of the shower 3 times per shower saying, tell Babin to meet me on 19th Street. Alexa, you know, like it's going to be unbelievable speed, utility. And I think, for example, texting will decline in the future because of Alexa, because it's going to be faster to say it and get that person to know the information than it is to grab the phone and do it.
The speed thing still boggles me. So, like, here's an example that I run into all the time, which is setting a timer. I would have never told you it's too hard to walk over to my microwave and hit the 3 button to set a 3-minute timer. I never do that anymore because it's out of my arm's reach. Like, I can't.
What about
right
setting
here.
your alarm? I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I wake up early. I can't miss stuff. I'm always dead when I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
I'll sleep through the rest of the day. I set my alarm half the year. Actually, every day, even at home. I set my alarm. It's nice to not have to set it through utility and doing it by voice. I mean, we're going to do so much with this thing. I'll tell you the place, and I use it as my example. I think entertainment through voice is grossly underestimated. I think there'll be a breakout game, a Settlers of Catan, a Fortnite, Trivia Pursuit. There will be a game that is, you know, choose your path, where you're interacting with voice, that is going to be so fun. I don't think people understand how creative people were when they had to listen to radio.
You just have to imagine,
and not,
right?
Yeah. And I do think that there's going to people that tend to be creative and enjoy that role play, things of that nature, are going to be unbelievably sucked into gaming. And so I think gaming and entertainment.
For gaming and entertainment, there's a little bit of something we've started to see now, which is it's a more communal experience. Like with your phone, you like, excuse me, I'm going to look at my phone and get in here. But with Alexa on the table, you're all doing it together. So it's more like board night again, right? Like
That's right. And I think that the anti-screen thing, which will be bullshit propaganda, but will be propaganda nonetheless, will actually be incredibly positive for Alexa, because people are going to still want technology and that kind of feel. Yeah. But like they're going to justify that they're not on a screen by talking to a device. I think clothes. I'm very fascinated by clothes. I think when you guys start activating the software into actual clothes, like I'm just talking like, to me it's frictionless, right? Like to me that awesome hat you have right now, in essence, if you choose that or your glasses or your collar, like I genuinely live in a world of a decade from now, every collar better be speaker activated and have the technology, because everybody wants lack of friction. Why does Uber beat, I'll give you an example that just happened in life. Everybody was betting that Uber would lose to cabs in New York. Made sense in other places, but New York City with subways and cabs? Like why would New York win there? It's just friction. And we hate friction. And so just like the store downstairs where you can just go in and there's no cashier's friction. Yeah. Why did I just experience for the first time how I am going to shop in 15 years everywhere? It's because it eliminated friction. I don't want to go to a register and stand behind Phil. Friction will always lose. Alexa and voice is the future of a frictionless world. It is going to explode.
So I wanted to address some more stuff from chat, and one of them was, I think we're getting some new audience from what we usually get, and they want to know if there's going to be companies built based on Alexa, and they're just going to be making money off of that. It's already happening, so I just wanted to get the conversation talking about it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up again. I said it earlier. Not only do I think there'll be companies built, I think the companies will be the size of Pandora. Guys, Facebook, Instagram is worth $100 billion according to that last report. It's an iPhone app.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking that in 2007. Do I believe that there'll be a $100 billion business started by Sally and Susan from Tennessee right now, built on top of Alexa? $100 billion? The answer is yes. It will be the winner of some sort of entertainment or utility in voice form.
And optimized for that. It's fast. It understands the point where we're at. What's
and
happening.
What Amazon as a company, is smart about is being platform. What Amazon understands, a lot of people be like, well, Amazon could do that. And of course not. That's what Amazon is going to be smart about. They're going to build the platform and take their rack of being the house, and they're going to be incentivized. And so, yeah, I think, for example, Phil, it's fun to have Phil here, who's really my investment partner. We've been basically retired for the last 2-3 years. Like, we've been keeping ourselves busy, but like the days of me writing checks feverishly have not been happening. We spent a $25 million fund on startups, but I am absolutely coming out of retirement to invest heavily in apps built on top of Alexa. That will be my next run. And guess what? I will find the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Snapchats of that. I will. I can just feel it. I've got pattern recognition. I got maturity. I got talent. I'm just ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I've been talking to some of the folks on your design team. They're top notch. Like it's
and that's VaynerMedia, and they have skills. And then there's like what Phil and I do about like putting on an investment hat.
Oh, I see.
And I think what I did well and not well.
Okay.
In my last chapter of investing was I did well in realizing that the jockey, she or he, was the variable, and I didn't do well when I didn't make the bet on that. I think betting on the right people and betting on the platform is going to be unbelievably ROI positive for me. And I'm so the answer, my friend, very simply, is a profound yes. Not only will there be businesses built on Alexa, I would actually argue some of the 50 biggest businesses in the world in 15 years potentially are Alexa skills themselves. And by the way, this company, we're sitting in one of the, one could argue, and I'm sure, this is my point of view, that Amazon maybe is the most powerful, important company right now in the game. Right? This company was shockingly built on the back of Google. Google AdWords in the early years of Amazon was the driver of their business. Bezos and team understood how underpriced that attention was. And they were an unbelievable spender on Google AdWords when it was underpriced. I think it's fun to see it all go full circle. I think you'll see people build and advertise on top of Alexa when it's underpriced because people are still like, what does it mean? For you guys, it must be laughable. Like, you're deep in the vortex and it's just so obvious what's happening. Yet, as you know, 99% of Americans still don't really understand what's going on here. How many Alexa skills are there right now? Do you have a sense?
40,000 so?
Right. That's nothing.
Right.
I predict, I hate to predict, but let me just do it for fun, that in 36 to 48 months, more than 40,000 are going to be uploaded a day. And we got 40,000 total. It's just going to be unbelievable. I want to make 40,000 right now.
Right.
Like, personally. So.
Awesome.
What are some of the skills that have caught your? Let's flip here a little bit.
Yeah.
What? I'm used to interviewing too.
Yeah.
What's standing out to you as a skill? Like, this is just personal, not official of the company.
Yeah,
you as a
yeah,
human.
yeah.
Has anything caught your eyes? And I'm seeing some people giving some.
Yeah. So what's happening on chat? They were asking about gaming. So I put a couple in there. One Skyrim, one the other one's Westworld. So tied into bigger brands, but they're really innovative voice experiences.
How good is Skyrim?
It's really good.
Talk to me about it a little bit.
It's not the full game, so it's a different experience that just happens to happen in the same universe. You can do different things, but the way they presented it was also creative. So it was a Jordan Peele video on YouTube, and it almost seemed like they were just joking about it. And then people discovered it, and they were like, "Wait, what? This is a real product."
Love that.
So they hit it on every
Love it.
stuff.
Yep. We've seen where you can do like loadouts. You can get in a firefight and go, crap, I gotta get my friends, and you call your friends in.
That's amazing.
Right? And they just go through Echo. That's really cool. There's a few that are like they're time saver, super simple ones. Like, here's one I use all the time, which is, has my dog been fed? And it literally just will say, I say, has my dog been fed? And it says, nope, hasn't been fed. I'm like, are you gonna feed it now? And I say, yeah, I'm gonna feed it now. It gets the timestamp. It's super simple. Gets the timestamp, and then 2 hours later, my wife says, has the dog been fed? And yep, dog's been fed 2 hours ago. Right?
Information exchange within an infrastructure.
Totally. Literally just keeping a timestamp for this fed in the last couple.
Let me give you an example. Actually, I just thought of one. Probably exists, but if not, given some free ones, I would build this immediately. Husband and wife dynamics. One of the most frustrating thing for husbands, I hear this, and I would say it for me a little bit as well, but Lizzie's the best, but is when the person in the home is yelling at the other person to do something.
Yep.
Like, I'm doing something with a kid and trying to finish something at work, and I'm take out the garbage, right? That just made me think of like home operator, right? Whereas instead of like creating the tension and the angst and the inefficiencies of yelling across the room, men and ladies, you just tell Alexa like, hey, garbage has to get taken out. Like, you're adding things that need to get done, and then the other person comes. It's kind of like calling.
What should I do? I'm gonna do something.
That's right. Why is calling not good anymore? Because texting is being done in a way that doesn't take away from your time. Why do people that are in relationships get mad at each other when they ask them to do something? It's because the other person's doing something at that point, whether it's watching a game that they want to, or getting ready to go out, or whatever it may be. And this is both men and women.
Downtime, right?
Correct. Right. If I could go to Alexa and be like, Alexa, what do I have to get done? Okay, take out the trash. Like, that's f***ing rad.
Yeah, that's a very simple skill to build.
I love the idea of like uploading.
Saving relationships since 2018.
And moving your to-do list to the cloud in a sense, right? Like,
Correct.
You have that angst of like, what I'm supposed to be doing. You can just ask like, oh, what's the next thing on there, and just kind of start knocking.
Because nothing bothers the other person more. I will ask my wife or people in my office the same thing 8 times. What was that thing again? What was that thing again? What was that thing again? And it's frustrating. Whereas, like, if you can get Alexa to be the third person in the relationship,
yeah,
you can cruise a lot of the frustration out.
Turns into an amazing delighter. So if I walk up to him and say what to do, say, well, somebody just took out the trash, did the dishes, this. So the next thing is this. I'm like, wow,
that's exactly right.
3 things just happened, and that was cool.
That's when you have a teenager in the house can actually help too.
Oh yeah,
so
right.
It's good.
Teenager helping. No, it's good. It's good. Cool. So you got a long, busy day here. This is so we're doing the challenge here. We've got this Life Hacks challenge.
Yes.
Really appreciate you coming out for this.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff in there too.
I always tell my team and my audience that it makes me sad that I don't have my video of like when I went into Twitter and there were 6 people, or when I spoke to the entire Facebook company when it was 300 people, or all those early days of Web 2.0. The fact that I'm getting, I'm so appreciative to be involved because, I eat my own dog food. I really believe this. I really genuinely believe that this is the early days of the next thing. And so I'm thrilled to be here and be a part of this stuff because I 40,000 just blew my mind, if you want to be honest. That just excited me. Like, I'm like, woof, I'm real early.
Yeah.
Like earlier, actually earlier than I thought. Like, that just kind of struck me just now. Yeah, I just, this is, so just being here.
I'm still wearing the 2500 shirt. Like, this is when we hit 2500 skills. Like,
it's so cool.
Like a year ago. I mean, it was...
No, I know, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, crap, when I got serious about this like 18, 20 months ago, like, this must have been like 7.
Yep.
I mean, like, this is so extreme that I'm actually have my legal team looking at us setting up to do business in Seattle. Like, I think VaynerMedia is going to have an office in Seattle because of between Amazon e-commerce and our e-commerce kind of practice and our, like, it's unbelievable through your ad product, the e-commerce monetization, optimization, and the skill world. For my marketing world and what I care about in the future, Amazon has become disproportionately important, and so I guess I'm going to be in Seattle a whole bunch more than I thought.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on something else, Gary. So we got a little bit of pushback on the gaming space. People are saying, oh, games tend to be more visual, but you said something that stayed with me, which was voice entertainment or audio entertainment is way underrated.
Yeah.
And I listen to podcasts all day and books, so I agree with you, but I want to get your take on it.
These are people who've just lived through the great video revolution.
Yeah.
Everybody who just left a comment and said, you need video are people that aren't the great-great-grandparents of those individuals. I don't think, what I love about the gaming community and Twitch specifically and esports and my homies Ninja and Broman, like, what I love about them is they're creative.
Yep.
I don't think people understand how creative your brain is. I don't think they've gotten high yet on the supply of sitting there playing this game and really thinking it through. Like, yes, visual's incredible, and the level of graphics and gameplay, I mean, we've evolved unbelievably, but I don't think people actually understand what's going to happen when they taste a very complicated game that is all mind and voice, and they're playing. I just think they're underestimating how unbelievably creative that is, and visual actually restricts your creativity. This doesn't. And I just don't think people understand how great it's going to be.
I'll add to that too. I think for millennia, games have been very, very social. I mean, that's what they were about, was bringing communities together and stuff like that. And then you sort of got into the devices that, like the early Nintendos and things like that, which is basically, I'm playing a game right here, kind of alone.
What about Magic the Gathering?
Totally.
Guys, let's not get crazy now. It's one picture. Like, what do you think you were doing in your head? Dungeons and Dragons. Like, what do you think you were doing?
And I love that your mind went there, because chat and you just had a mind melt. They immediately went to Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like, that all is a piece of paper, and it's all happening in your head.
I'm going to say something crazy. One of the most exciting entertainment things I ever did was in 6th grade. I hope somebody knows. It was Edison, New Jersey, John Adams Middle School. If anybody can find these kids, I can't remember their names. Daniel Hodges? I don't know why that just came to my head. Anyway, that was weird, actually. The brain is underrated. Let me just say this officially. Anyway, we used to play this game at lunch. I didn't eat lunch in 6th grade. This is not a joke. I did not eat lunch because there was a dice game that we made up around wrestling. So it was a dice game we made up. Kudos to whoever made it up. I do think it's Danny Hodges. I don't know why that name is coming in my head. We would roll dice. I would be Macho Man Randy Savage, and I would wrestle King Kong Bundy, my friend, and we would roll dice. And there was whatever the dice game that was figured out, because he was a math nerd and he figured out something rad. It was the most entertaining thing ever. And the match was playing out in my head. I had the established visual of wrestling. And I think a lot of people are underestimating. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I think it's going to be remarkable. Because first of all, I don't think people understand the complexities of, if you build an unbelievable data structure around a voice game, how unlimited it could take you.
Right.
I mean, there's some real nerds out there.
Totally.
They're going to build some real stuff. Like, when you could play a game that has unlimited paths, like in audio form, guess what else you can do in an audio game that you can't when you're holding a controller? You can do things with your hands, like eat and drink. And like I don't think people understand.
Back to the speed thing.
Yeah, like, it's like, I don't know, like knowing nerd and like culture and knowing sophistication. The 37-year-old that I'm thinking about right now is going to love the fact that he and she can get together with 3 couples, have really great food and wine, and play this game, and that is going to be the great 7-hour night of their lives.
A lot of people play Jeopardy this way already. Like, they, as a couple or as a group, they play Jeopardy. And it's meant to be a solo game they're working, but it's like to play it together.
I'm excited about this,
Yeah.
man. So I think entertainment's going to be big. I think utility is going to be enormous. I think all of us think a million things that we forget to text or write down or tell our admins to do. So I think efficiency with voice is going to get ludicrous. I think voice is going to create efficiency that we've never seen before, and is literally the last stop before we go right from brain to action. So I think voice is going to get a lot of credit for a ton of things. I mean, people forget things I don't care how good you are at writing lists. I don't care how good you are at holding information in your head. If you're in an environment where you know the voice device is capturing every thought and there's zero it just needs to be said, you are going to be addicted to that.
I love this brain to action concept. It's just
Yeah,
forget the rest of your body. Like, we got to get it going.
I mean, look. I mean. Let me ask a question. We got a progressive group in here, and I'll ask the chat too. Straight up. If you could put technology into your body, let's use Alexa and the iPhone. If you could put the iPhone into your body, like right here, and Alexa into your neck, right? I'm being dead serious. Would you have that operation? Phil?
No.
You?
I would.
Babin?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
No.
And for you, nose, is that the fear of cancer, or what does that do?
No.
Or is it
It's
taking
the
over
fear
you?
of it being
Inability to
24/7?
unplug, yeah.
Inability to unplug.
To me, it's a bit like what makes me hesitate is mainly like unknown, unforeseen consequences. If I knew it was like 100% safe, there's no cancer risk, there's no.
Yeah, me too, by the way.
It's gonna
Me too.
like.
Me too, it's that. Right? Like right now I have high blood pressure, it's just genetic. I'm doing all the right things. I look better than ever. Google me, I look like horrible 5 years ago. And like I've got it, like the math is black and white. Like it's like 50 years in the system now, and like and I'm an Eastern European. I don't want to take these pills like you would. I mean, if I take an Advil right now, I'd be unconscious. Like, but I'm gonna do it, and that would be what would hold me back. Like I would do it right now, but to your point, I wouldn't be pumped if in like 17 years they'd be like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Your liver's destroyed now. Like, that would be upsetting.
Right.
But like if I was my grandson and like it was in the system in a heartbeat, because I don't think it being on. I believe you were talking about unplugging, Phil. I know for fact that your phone is within arm's reach of your life 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's like people were like, I'd never put an Echo in my home because I don't want to, they have all the reason that everybody always ends up adapting to the technology anyway.
Yeah, here's my favorite. All the people that went on Instagram to protest unsubscribing to Facebook. You idiots. Or all the people who are or people like, Alexa's listening to you. I'm like, you are listening to mainstream propaganda. And here's my better one. I want it to listen to me. Like, you know why I want Alexa on my neck? I want you to hear everything, Alexa. Everything. Because need it. Everybody's playing defense, not offense. It's all defense out here.
And just for the record, there were a bunch of yes now, immediately I wanted right now on chat. So
Well, of course, if you're in a Twitch chat, then you are 100% our demo.
Take my money.
Let's go to somebody who still has AOL dial-up, and they'll shoot you with their shotgun.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah, man, what a time to be alive. Like, you want to talk about perspective? Back to everybody in the chat watching this, everybody on the vlog, Instagram Live, everybody's with us right now. We are so lucky. We are living through one of the most interesting times in the human race. Somebody lived when the printing press was invented. They lived prior to it, and then they lived, right? A lot of our great-great-grandparents lived through no television and radio, then there are the
no
phone.
plane and plane. My grandparents were that.
No plane
No
and
plane,
plane.
plane. Yeah.
I mean, guys, no plane and plane. Like a lot of people live through that. Like no such thing as a plane, and definitely not for like normal people to like use. So we are living through an explosion because the internet itself is the great underestimated technology ever. Everybody here, we're at Amazon.
Still underestimated.
Everybody here, from Big Boy Bezos down to everybody walking through this building, the internet, underrated by every human being. It's that big. I genuinely believe that. And so I'm glad to be a part of it. Back to Twitch, like I lived through Atari 2600. Like, kids, no matter how good the next system is, there is never going to be a bigger jump than Atari to Nintendo.
Right.
That was like... even Genesis and Super Nintendo to PlayStation, which was a big jump. Even that, guys, Atari to Nintendo was like bonkers because you got the arcade in your home.
Yeah.
That was like forever. So, you know, we're living through a special time.
We went from the Odyssey to the Nintendo, so it was like basically
an
stuck on
Odyssey?
pond. Yeah, that's where we were.
I had Coleco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was like weird. And like my friend had Intellivision. We were like the odd couple. Like everybody had Atari.
I remember the
He had
Intellivision.
Hidden Television, which had this crazy snake game, like Snafu or something like that. What's that game? The chat will help. Where it's like two snakes start,
And there's apples
and
you
you
gotta
try
eat
to
them.
you got to try to trap the other one to run into the rest of your snake.
It's like
Is it Snafu?
yeah, there's apples. You eat the apples and they grow longer every time you eat an
Ooh,
apple.
you might be right.
Yeah, I think
How
it's
old are
called
you?
Snake. 40 something, 43, 44. I have to
What
do the
are you
math.
running?
I don't know the math. I don't keep track of this stuff.
Slither.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Slither?
I don't know that game. Like, by the way, my team. I know you guys are watching. For my Twitch studio, I need this game. Like, if we have to go buy Kalik, like, this snake game was because there's so much strategy. It was so much. It is Snafu. I still have it on television. I have that game. I knew it was Snafu. Guys, kids, download Snafu.
So I learned how to play, or I learned how to program because of that game. So Microsoft Basic included a snake game,
Love
which is
it.
basically the same thing. So I added a third snake, and I made it so I could go diagonal.
Oh, this really?
Yeah, which means you're going fast.
This is why
right?
nerds are so smart. I just
And
love
then I could leave little dots behind me, and then if you hit the dot, little
It was one of my favorite games. That game was like I loved. There's a couple. What's been really fun about what I'm doing on Twitch right now
Yeah.
is getting old school games. So I'm playing Ring King for Nintendo, which is a great boxing game because you're actually boxing the other person. Just basic Nintendo hockey
okay.
with like the fat guy and the skinny guy. Amazing. And so I'm enjoying. Twitch was an incredibly smart acquisition of this company. I'm just unbelievably bullish on the platform. Like Pop committed as well.
Super cool. I'm actually going to come out to your studio in a month or so.
Yep.
All of your folks at VoiceCon.
Yep.
We're going to do like a design jam with them over what they're looking for. So that'll be
love it.
really cool.
forward to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. I really appreciate
My
this.
pleasure. See
Thank you
everyone.
very
Thank you so much.